Hello, it's Mahbooba again, and I'm here with you with another series of Our New World. In my series, because we are experiencing a completely new world after attacking by a virus called COVID-19. It's got a very biological name, which I don't know, but anyway, it's a part of the coronaviruses, and it caused a lot of deaths around the world. That's why we're experiencing lockdown and pandemic. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that how misspelling I'm doing, but as you know, I'm completely doing all these podcasts live, and I'm not doing any editing. This is something that started since lockdown, since something that I've kind of experienced that as an artist, that I used to do a lot of editing and make everything perfect. I completely changed it, and I'm doing the podcast and my video series on edit and live. So I apologize for all this sort of misspelling and bumbling in my talking. So yes, we've been attacked by this virus, and there is no vaccine, no medication. So many people lost their lives. We're experiencing a pandemic around the world, and okay, thank God I'm still alive. Some people are alive, and thanks to the healthcare system around the world, who are the superheroes, which is very odd, to be honest. As a young person who we kind of been living on movies about superheroes and the world's gonna be saved very soon, in reality it's not that. Okay, let's face it, guys. All the superheroes, all these years and years and years, no, that's not gonna work. It's a completely different situation, and I think we've learned a lesson that it's all about management, it's all about thinking, it's all about teamwork, it's all about understanding, it's all about knowledge. And it's not going to be one hero just suddenly appear and said, I'm going to save you, and then it's all just going to shift off. No, the real superheroes are in a fight. They are in hospitals, they are key workers that are in the front line, and we just have to face the reality. Okay, I'm gonna cover some points in this podcast. I'm gonna do some update about what we are doing now in 24th of May 2020, which is the date that I'm recording this podcast, and also I'm gonna give some tips about self-care and about the announcement of the emergency funding that I've got from the Arts Council for my digital art and performance. First, I want to go to this news of Mr. Dominic Cummings, which is I think it's the High Secretary or Advisor of the Prime Minister. Anyway, he's a important guy, number 10 in the UK, and he's been traveling to Durham from London when he got COVID-19 symptoms. That's what I've read in the news, and they're asking him to resign and all of that. To be honest, I felt like just that's why I'm not listening to the news. I cannot tell you how many people have been dead. The last time I've just been listening to kind of to get to know about the rules about the lockdown, it was over 40, and the news was saying 30,000 something. To be honest, I don't know. The thing that I know is that I hate to say it with numbers, because I really know that these are not numbers. We are talking about human. We are talking about people. We are talking about families who lost their lives. So I'm kind of done with it. I kind of feel like I think I have respect for myself if I'm gonna get fed by some lies or things that I feel like it doesn't make sense, because I'm also a human being. I have logic, I have a brain to think. So I think I'm gonna respect also my brain that I can think to understand and observe. So I don't want to be fed anything that might made me to doubt myself. So it's not going well with the government, with the planning, with the management, and I'm really sort of feel for the frontline workers, the hospital staff, the people who lost their loved ones or their loved ones are sick, and all those chaos in the world. What I know is that in my podcast I want to give you self-care tips. You need that. We have to look after our mental health, and if you're listening to this podcast, I really just want you to try these self-care tips that I tell you. Trust me, it works, because we are experiencing something we never been prepared for, and it make us to come out of the routine of our lives. which is not there anymore. So lockdown is something that it's really mess up with our mental health, and I really would like you to at least try. It's a very, very simple self-care tips that gonna make you happy, that gonna make you something that kind of to put in focus to look after yourself. So I want to go back to the point that I make in every podcast. Please, if you are experiencing high emotions because of this lockdown, because you're not seeing your friends and family, because you're worried or scared about future, and you don't like this virus situation, please, whenever you're in high emotions of, for example, if you're hopeless, if you're worried, if you're angry, if you're scared, distract yourself with something. One of the top ones, it's, for example, if there's a video that makes you laugh, if there's a comedian that makes you laugh, please watch their videos. Something to make you laugh, something to help you to be distracted, because it will help your brain to process that emotion. So I really would like you to do that. It's very simple. That gonna make you, if also there is something that you read or anything that you know that you're gonna be distracted with, so do that. And my tip is to watch a video. The video can be, if it's not comedy, if it's not your favorite comedian, maybe something about nature, maybe something that always wow you and you would like to watch it again. That helps you to be distracted, and trust me, that would help you to go through that roller coaster of emotions. The second thing actually I want to introduce in this podcast is start to make a journal. We all have smartphones. If you've got a smartphone, you don't need to be thinking, oh, I need a pen or a notebook. That's also really nice. If you can do that, a physical pen and notebook, it's much nicer. But try to make a journal of, start by a few words each day. Whatever you would like to remember, you feel like you want to write that down, please do that. Or in our visual artist women group of Northwest, CIWA, Center for International Women Artists, we've got this amazing group of women, visual artist women, that we've kind of started to take photos of what we've kind of felt happy, or something that I did for our self-care. This is also what you can do. So your journal can be a few words, can be sentence, can be, if you write poem, just write a poem. If you write a few sentences, as I've told you, just don't be hard on yourself with even a few words. Just do that, and that would be something that would give you a routine, even if you want to do it once every day, even like every 2 days, but keep it going. And it would be nice after a week to go back and say, okay, I've made a progress. So you can share your emotions in that journal, and you can express it in words, images, drawings, lines. I think I've talked about this session I've done with our group in my previous podcast too, that doodling, and Lena kind of created this amazing sort of way of make us to kind of put something down and kind of lines, and then you start coloring it and create a shape out of it, which is really good. So that would also really help your distraction. So make sure that if you're experiencing these sort of feelings, it's completely normal, and look after your mental health. Also, if you know people who might struggle, and if they are very isolated, please give them a call, send them a message, and let's look after each other in this time of crisis. So now I want to talk to you about my art project, which I've got the funding from the Arts Council. So I'm the digital art is in the editing process. I'm very excited about it because I've been able to also create this response to my creative experience in this situation, which I would like to share, and I also planning for a performance, which I really hope that after the lockdown and things get over, I would definitely be able to share this performance with the wider audience. If I want to talk about myself at the moment, I'm in a better position regarding adjusting with the lockdown. I think still for me and my husband and our little one is that our boy is only 1 year and 5 months, and he need to have his adventure, and I'm I'm not happy that he cannot be out and about that much. And I know that so many other parents, just want to shout out to you guys that I'm sure that it's hard to have children with all this energy and not be able to put them out in the world to have their adventure. But you know what, guys, we're gonna get over this situation. We will remember, and we have to remember all these lessons that we are learning. As I told you, this reality of who is a real superhero, what is happening in this time of crisis, and none of those movies and all those stories is going to help. That's amazing to have positive energy, but it's also important to have logic and be able to organize, be able to recognize in right time. The people who are following my podcast know that I'm also following up with the big part of my work, which is for women's rights and the violence and abuse against women, which has really been going so high during the lockdown, and also children, abuse against children, and all of this that kind of been in a very, very scary numbers that goes up. I think these are the numbers that we have to kind of look at and remember that the other numbers of people who've been dying from this virus are human beings. Statistics are people. Just that is something that I feel like we're losing in this sort of situation. That's why I think the same thing about abuse against women and children is also that a statistic has been misinterpreted. I think how on earth we are not doing the grassroots work. I really think that I have a responsibility as an artist to also make sure that to say all this in my podcast and also take actions in the higher level, and I will continue the fight for that, and to also remember the lessons that we're taking of the situation, the conditions and everything that we are experiencing in the lockdown. I'm hopeful. I'm a very positive person. I'm very optimistic, and I'm sure that we gonna get over of this situation. We will get together, and I would like to actually just be could see that just to share this with the real audience, that we're sitting together and we talk about it, and we also share ideas. We need to do workshops. We need to do just definitely I myself, I will do more videos around this, and we have to make sure that we look out for each other. So yeah, I know that how gambling I'm talking about, but this also podcast, it's been a great way for me to share and express my feelings, my thoughts, and I'm really grateful that I can share with some audience with using social media. I'm sure that just the people are now spending hours and hours on the virtual world, which is our way to be connected, but at the same time it sucks because we need physical contact anyway. But I'm talking to you guys, you're listening to me, which is brilliant. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and I think that just in the next podcast I would be more specific on the points of just the lessons that we are learning. But to be honest, the reason why my brain is still going like a loop about it is that I'm still sort of angry about things that I feel like could be easily solved and it's not. The things, the how should I say, the management that hasn't been done, I don't know, like things that could be easily sorted. It's nothing is happening, from the PPE for the healthcare to tests to make sure that just the rules for the restrictions clear, which is not with a big confusion. All of that, I'm still in circle of understanding it, and I think the more I clear my mind and the more I make podcasts and videos about it, I think I can be more on it. So this podcast and talking about it just made me to also straight my brain of all these points. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you in my next podcast.